Next, we're going to move on to the sustainability update. I think we've got Supervisor Ward.
Let's see. Hey, President Wagers, Superintendent Roberts, Board of Trustees, I'm Ali Ward, and I'm happy to get to spend a few minutes sharing a sustainability update with you. So just to remind you all where we center our work on 4 cornerstones. One is to decrease waste and increase waste diversion. So both decreasing the waste from the source and then increasing the amount that we can divert. Increasing environmental stewardship opportunities for our students. Increasing energy efficiency in our schools and buildings, and there are many of them, about 4.6 million square feet of buildings over a very vast time period of when they were built. Also, I think I need to update that to include New Collister 2024. And then decreasing the water use in our buildings and our grounds. So approximately 850 acres that we're caring for. So those are ambitious pieces to be working on. One of the strategies we had was to implement a green team in every school, and I was delighted to hear some of the student reports mentioning the green team and the work that they're doing and having a lot of success with. And so supporting all those green teams has been wonderful. At the end of last year, we did a survey of the green team leads and just tried to gauge how much engagement they had from students and how much time students were putting in. So at the end of year 1 of our green teams, we had approximately 600 active green ambassadors, and they served approximately 16,000, close to 17,000 hours of service learning. So we've oriented that work around service learning for the environment. And so we're in year 2 now of having green teams, and it'll be fun to survey everyone again and get the data and update those numbers. We have a lot of new projects, as you could hear. They're very wide-ranging in those 4 cornerstone areas. But I actually went through and kind of tallied up. At the end of last year, we had 14 schools that had implemented some waste diversion with milk bottles in particular and orange bag from the Hefty Orange Bag Program. And I just rechecked, and we're at 42 schools that are now working on one of or both of those, which I was like, wow, okay, no wonder my email is hopping. Trying to keep all those programs moving along. And then for energy, we're doing a lot of different energy efficiency work, but one of the engaging things we've done with our community is the power down challenges before our breaks, and Idaho Power is tracking that data by quad for us so we can report out by quad, and that's been fun. But in the last 2 years, we have saved 1,353 megawatts of energy compared to the prior use week, just over those 6 holiday breaks. So that's significant. That's a significant impact. And we have hundreds of staff engaging in those and their student teams helping them unplug. So that's been really great. So I wanted to jump in. I asked Fairmont if they wanted to come and present with me, and they were like, oh, we can't get there on a Monday night, but here's our slides. So I'm going to attempt to sum up what's it like to be on the Fairmont Green Team. And we heard a few impromptu mentions of that, but it's fun to see the photos from Fairmont here, so I'll present these. So they have several action items. They're working with Eco Schools, and so they had to make an action plan. And this previous year, they were Eco Schools Silver. They're trying for the Green Flag Award. And so they've been really organized this year with their plan. They've built their green team around a previously existing STEM club that was called Builders Club. So they've been able to incorporate that into some program they already had. And so it's been really fun to see that. So the 3 things they wanted me to tell you about were the Seeds of Hope, their South Courtyard project, and the Grow More Good Community Garden. So we can go forward. So Seeds of Hope, they worked with the Hope Squad. The Green Team and the Hope Squad collaborated, and they made seed paper. So they actually made their own paper. It was this whole STEM activity with Julia, who's our AmeriCorps volunteer. And they made paper, and they wrote hopeful messages for every single student in the school as part of their Kindness Week. And then part of the end of the activity was that students got this seed paper. So that was a very fun, engaging whole school activity.
They've been revamping one of their courtyards, and so they're upgrading the furniture so they can use it more as an adaptive outdoor classroom. And so we've been working with them on getting all of the courtyard updated. They had a building day a couple weekends ago, and they're working on finishing those tables and planting. And they've got umbrellas on order. So we'll have some finished projects. So if you're at Fairmont, you can go see the South Courtyard. It's coming along really well. They're excited to use it. And they are working across the street. There's a community garden in a neighboring church, and they're working with that community garden to both save seeds and have their own Fairmont plot. So that's called the Grow More Good Community Garden. And so they've been engaging in that now that the weather's nicer again. So that's been really great. So one of the things that we've done in sustainability is establish a lot of different partnerships. This is not isolated work that can be done. So both local, regional, and national partners. And I just wanted to highlight, kind of show you the landscape there of these partners. This has been a lot of really wonderful collaboration. And so if you want to go forward one slide, I've tried to organize their logos because this got a little long-winded. So basically in those pillars of energy, water, waste, curriculum, and kind of segmented out air quality, we have local partners, regional partners, and national and international partners that we're working with to implement the most up-to-date science and technology and innovation, as well as, how does this fit with our local ethos? So it's been amazing to have all these partners come alongside us and support the work. And they are all just very eager to see Boise succeed in its sustainability efforts. And so it's just been very positive. One of the things I wanted to highlight on that last slide was we did receive recently a grant with funds through Green Schools National Network and the EPA. We're going to be working on some curriculum development and some teacher cohorts that will start very soon. And we'll focus on that with what's called 4PBL learning, which stands for phenomenon, place, project, and problem-based learning around air quality, both indoor and outdoor air quality. So we're going to be working on some K-12 curriculum with that project coming up. As far as new learning, so we have been diving in headlong to preparing for our future and what kind of strategies can we use to be as responsible as possible with our resource use as a district. And so we have been studying our energy use. We have recognition for all of our secondaries in a program called DOE 50001 Ready. That's Department of Energy, U.S. Department of Energy. That program is pretty rigorous and has like a 25-step application process that they are very excited that Boise Schools is participating in. Some of our colleagues in that program are Ford and a lot of big manufacturers. So it's an interesting, the U.S. Department of Veteran Services and some really big organizations are also participating in that program. The LED upgrades study, we're doing a lighting control study. Verdant Resolutions has been helping us kick that off, and now we're working with the U of I Integrated Design Lab to start looking at smart controls for lighting upgrades. So we should have some roadmap of lighting upgrade moving forward so that we can renovate those lights for the best occupancy comfort and energy savings. We've been analyzing the potential for geothermal, or what's known as ground source heat pumps, with future projects. And so we've been looking at a kind of high-level feasibility study with Verdant, and we're now starting to look at our first actual building projects and integrating that technology. And it's pretty exciting to see what we could do that would be renewable energy, both for heating and cooling with heat pumps. For solar, we did a district-wide feasibility study for all of our rooftops, and we have now designed an array and have that under contract to build this summer. So we're very much looking forward to getting that project built, and happy to take more questions about that. But I think we're moving in the right direction to build one proof of concept project, and then take a look at the energy savings and cost avoided from adding solar to our rooftops. For irrigation, so that's a interesting because we have many different kinds of irrigation and many different irrigation and water right issues throughout the district with all of those different grounds projects. So I've been working with our grounds team to start a roadmap for updating the controls so that we can better deliver water, control the water, and study the water use. So we're starting with some projects this summer on behalf of grounds and sustainability collaborating. Waste management has been really interesting with all of those schools working on different projects, tracking the data with our custodial team. We actually have 2 students that are seniors or upperclassmen there at TVMSC, and they have been serving as interns in a class, a research class that they're in with our waste data, analyzing 6 years of historical data from our custodial team. And so we now have a lot better handle on our waste generation and diversion opportunities. We're going to start refining that data and integrate that more with our next greenhouse gas study. But it's been fantastic to have students helping us do the data analysis and visualization of that data. And clean transportation. We are excited to be starting a study with the Treasure Valley Clean Cities Coalition and a group called ENCODE. They're going to be working through a transportation feasibility, a clean transportation study for both our student transportation, our fleet vehicles, like our facilities trucks or large heavy equipment that we have. We'll go down, and I believe we will also include our 2-stroke motors, so all of our lawnmowers and all of that sort of things. Basically, an engine study of clean transitions for all of our district's engines, and then I think we will be able to refine our all the transportation data that goes into getting our students and staff to and from school. So we'll have a stronger hold on that data for our next greenhouse gas study. And just the sidebar there that we are estimated to reduce our emissions by about 50% in the next 6 to 8 years. We keep implementing best practices. And so that's a pretty exciting, it's an exciting time. We are working on the 5-year action plan, and some of you participated with us when we got to our goals and sub-goals last year. So it's in a much more refined state. We're going to get one more round of feedback, and I should be able to bring a final draft back in either August or September. We're going to work with some graphic designers on that late summer, and that will include goals, sub-goals, and key performance indicators for those sub-goals. So that's going to be a and then from there, we'll create a 5-year work plan to go with that draft. And I stand for questions.
Thank you, Ali. Appreciate the presentation. Questions from trustees? Trustee Langley?
A quick question about, it's amazing how many partnerships we have, and I'm floored by how much you're doing. So thank you very much. Can you talk about how do we build those partnerships?
Sure. So we are fortunate that we have many partnerships that are because the city of Boise is working towards similar goals. So there are many aligned partners that are working between the 2 entities, especially because we have land ownership that's so spread out in the neighborhoods. Having a similarly aligned plan makes sense. So some of those partners have come through the city as introductions. Many of them are school support specifically. A lot of those partnerships have come through the U.S. Green Building Council Center for Green Schools or the Green Schools National Network, both national organizations. I was lucky to do a fellowship for the Center for Green Schools last year, and so I met a lot of these organizations that are supporting districts all over the country doing this work. And then some of them are state level organizations or national level organizations who have school sustainability kind of arms or centers, if you will. And we've been able to tap into their resource and research.
Trustee Benyon?
Quick, President Wagers, trustees, I just want to add to that last answer. It's because Ali has made a habit of saying yes and her passion for sustainability and how we've developed all those networks locally, nationally, everywhere. It's by her having the courage to say yes and be willing to explore. So she's just done a tremendous job.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Well, that was a good, because I was going to mention some along those same lines, the leadership that you're providing. I mean, this is significant work and significant results, and 50% reduction over the next 6 to 8 years. I mean, this is like right in front of us type of work. So really, just huge applause to you, the team, the collaboration that Trustee Langley mentioned. I mean, it's internal to the district, external to the district. I mean, it takes everybody to accomplish what you're accomplishing, and it's fantastic to see. You paused briefly on the solar panel. I am
Sure.
curious to hear a little bit more about the scope
sure.
of work and what you're looking at there.
Sure. So we, with the feasibility study, we looked at the return on investment for adding solar with the new regulations from the PUC that Idaho Power will need to follow. And then that basically increases the size of the array that we can build to be the highest kilowatts that any building produces versus capped at 100 kilowatts. So it does increase the size of the array we could build, which in turn makes the price per panel come down. So that is one thing that worked to our advantage in the return on investment. The other piece with that was the what's called direct pay or elective pay, which is a tax code that changed at the federal level that we can start to utilize. So we are contracting with the tax advisors to be able to capture that benefit. So together, that changes the return on investment from 16 to 20-year return to what's looking more like a 10 to 12-year return if everything goes well. The goal is to build one array and get a good solid year of data on it and see if it's actually working as promised by the vendors and models, and then kind of see where we're at.
Superintendent Roberts.
Yes, so I think that you can all see that we have a unicorn in Ali Ward, and I mean that truly. Phenomenal science teacher. But what she has done for sustainability there's nothing else like it in Idaho in a school district, I guarantee you. I'm really proud of the work that she's done. And if you go into any school, their green teams are doing amazing work. And Allie's invested in that in all of our schools. She's pretty phenomenal. She also just received the WISE Award, which is the Women in Smart Energy Rising Star. And she will get that at the Smart Energy Decisions Conference next week. And she also just won the Green Teams, that's not true, the 2025 Green Difference Award, also from Green Schools Network. So pretty phenomenal. We are so appreciative because I think a lot of times we have maybe really strong pedagogy or we have that really strong connecting with kids, and Allie has it all. And going out to communities, members and businesses and partnering. And I really appreciated what Director Walker said because she does not say no. She's definitely one of those that's what if the answer is yes. So we are incredibly appreciative. You are changing our students' futures, and we know that.
Thank you, Superintendent Roberts. Thank you all for your support of the initiatives, and I think it brings a lot of hope and optimism, so that's welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions? It's always fun to sit in facilities and have Ali present because everybody's like, wow. So thank you again, Ali. Appreciate you.